Welcome back to the Gridiron Goons. It's Brandon here, still with Preacher, still with Sean O'Mac. We are here talking about the top 10 stacks. If you guys don't know what stacks is, you probably shouldn't be listening to this podcast, but I will teach you right quick. The most notable one that everyone knows is like a Kelce and a Mahomes. It didn't work out that well this season, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, Preacher, want to lead us off?
Yeah, so for me, top 10 stacks, Philly 1, Dallas 2, Miami 3, Indy 4, Detroit 5.
Stop.
What?
Let's talk about that for a second before we get through all the 10. So, are you saying these are just quarterback, wide receiver? Are you saying it's a 3-stack,
It's just
a 4-stack?
3-stack, 4 stacks, 2 stacks. Like these are stacks that I would want in particular. Right. Whether that's, like for Philly, obviously the AJ Brown.
That's a 5-stack if you can swing it.
But do you know what I mean? Like I would like to have at least 2 of whatever stack. That's typically how I try to look at this as the stack. Obviously, the quarterback's going to be your best bet,
right,
and then the wide receiver. But if you can get, like, for instance, with the Bills, I have Allen, and probably it would be Dalton Kincaid,
okay,
right? You might take a chance on the Keon Coleman or the Curtis Samuel route, but that's, for me, I'm looking at least at the Kincaid Allen stack there. Looking at the Cardinals, like, the Kyler McBride or Kyler Marv stack.
Okay.
That's nasty.
It's almost okay. Yeah.
But I like I said, I look at least the quarterback being my number 1 guy, or in case if I do have the wide receiver that is the number 1, then I'd like to pair that with the quarterback. But if I could pair that with something else on that roster, yeah, for sure. So for me, like Philly, obviously Hurts, Brown. Dallas, obviously, CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott. Miami, my ideal would be like the Tua, Tyreek stack, but I could definitely go Tua, Achane, Tua, Waddle. Indy is obviously the Anthony Richardson, Michael Pittman.
Absolutely.
Detroit, you got the Amon-Ra. You've got the Jahmyr Gibbs, all that stacking with Laporta, Goff.
Shit.
So you got all that there. Cardinals, we said. Bills, we've already said. Jets.
San Francisco.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. The Jets for me at 8 with the, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Aaron Rodgers. The Ravens at 9 with Mark Andrews.
Okay.
I mean, Zay Flowers there, not as ideal. But Zay Flowers, and you have Lamar Jackson there, all that. 49ers, I'll get to your team here at 10 for me with the slew of talent there.
It's ridiculous.
I think for me, I rank them in these 10, but it's all fluid. It's all, especially in your draft, it's a fluid. What can I pair?
Yeah.
If I'm sitting at the 10 and the 2-1, you
can pick up an easy stack right there. You can pick up an
easy stack right there, So that's kind of where I rank my list. Eva, what do you got?
So I'm starting out with the Cowboys because a CD, Dak, and Jake Ferguson, if you could get them 3, you're absolutely set. You're going to rack points every single week. Eagles, they are the only team alongside the Niners that you can have a legitimate 5-stack. You can have Hurts, Saquon, Devonta Smith, A.J. Brown, and Dallas Goedert. It'd be very hard to come up with that stack, but maybe with some trading you might be able to put it together. Here's one of my other things. I got the Colts too. The only issue with that is it is only a 2-stack to me. You could throw in Taylor if you wanted, but I'm more Anthony Richardson and Pittman.
But I think for you, why you have them, I have them at 4, you have them at 3. Mm-hmm. And I think we feel that Anthony Richardson is a
Dog.
dark horse number 1 guy.
Absolutely.
If you haven't listened to our quarterback rankings, you
Go
touched
back.
it. Go back,
Listen
to that, watch that. It is something worth mentioning, and I think that's why you and I have the Colts so high in our stack.
Yes.
I think Richardson's due to ball out, man.
Yes.
So
I think the injuries were a fluke. Right. I do not believe he's just an injury-prone guy. He just needs to learn how to slide. That's it. Anyway, continuing. I got Lions, nasty. Cardinals, Niners, Bengals, Jets, Dolphins, and the one I'm probably going to get reamed for. I like the Commanders, dude. I like Jaden Daniels. Pair him with Scary Terry. Zach Ertz isn't the best, but I mean...
Zach Ertz is old.
You're old. Anyway.
At least I respect that a little bit better than some others.
I don't think it's that bad, man.
I don't
It's not
see
bad. It's terrible.
Sean O'Mac, let's see if yours is any better.
Right off the get, I got the Chiefs. I'm
Dog
never counting Mahomes out.
Dog
So moving on from the dog I got Burrow and Chase. Absolutely love it. We know my fascination with Jamar. Then I got Eagles, Cowboys, Niners. You know what? I'm going to swap them too.
Okay, so you're going to have Niners at 4 and Boys at the 5?
I'm going to have Niners at 3.
Oh!
No, wait. I'm sorry. You're right. I'm going to have Niners at 4. I'm going to have Cowboys at 5. And then I'm going Lions. And then this could be you're talking. I'm going Texans. You have CJ.
Oh, boy.
You have Nico. You have
Tank
Dell.
Mixon.
Mixon. Diggs. Schultz.
So you're saying, so we're all going to be a consensus about that's the only 6 stack that's reasonable.
It's insane, but yeah.
I think for me though, and this is where
I think it's too much.
I think it's too much.
Yeah,
I think,
having too much is a luxury, but it's also a problem.
Yes.
I think it's exciting to have that many players there. And Philly almost pushes this issue as well.
Yes.
Even though I have Philly at number 1. But when you get to 6 people on your roster that are vying for points, let's break down the wide receiver room. Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell.
That's crowded.
Right? We know Stephon Diggs comes in and he wreaks havoc when he doesn't get the ball. If we look last year at the way C.J. Stroud produced, targets went to Tank Dell because Tank Dell went underneath and was open.
All the time.
Where Nico was more of that deep ball guy. So we see that with that stack last year. Now we add in Stephon Diggs.
Diggs.
So be it, he's old. He's also in the room. And I don't think he's going to play too much role on the field. But you can't discredit him being on the field either.
I get it. You got to look out for him.
So I think as much as I want to be high on the Texans, I just talked about the wide receiver room being so crowded.
Mm-hmm.
We're not even talking about the tight end room. We're not talking about the running backs. That's not even in my equation right now. And we're talking about Dalton Schultz being the tight end.
Yeah, fills your flex spot, your only flex spot if you're only running one.
Right.
That's a hell of a commitment.
And that's...
But it's a nice stack at the same time.
It is, but my question really comes in. You have them at 7, right?
Yes.
So you have the Dolphins at 8.
Ravens at 9. Bills at 10.
So,
Ugh.
It's
great.
It's great, but
oh boy.
I almost would rather have the Dolphins room ahead of the Texans room. I would like to see the Ravens ahead of the Texans. The Bills, I have them at 7.
I see honestly, Ravens and Bills are the same exact stack to me. You're getting the same points.
I see the upside for the Texans, but I'm just so concerned with the depth of room there. The Chiefs,
It worked out really
worked.
good last year,
Yeah.
huh?
I'm never going to count Patty.
I hear you.
it.
Damn.
Look, I hear you, and I understand the script
Yeah.
is for the 3-peat, and I get that. And what a shock it would be for Travis Kelce to propose to Taylor Swift on the 50-yard line at the Super Bowl if they're still together by then. But I mean, we would assume they're still together, which is perfectly fine. But you know, when we look at the Chiefs, he's getting older. And at what point in time does the age set in? Now, I understand some of you are saying, well, there's Rashee Rice, there's Xavier Worthy there, and so be it. But
that's only so much.
Let's not forget Kadarius Toney.
but so be it. Like, they're there, and I think if maybe we could, I would honor and mention the Chiefs. But I feel like there's so many other teams.
I'm not aiming for that, dude.
Right, like if I'm looking at it, would I rather have Brock Purdy and Brandon Ayuk?
All day.
Would you rather have them over Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce?
Yes.
So then they're not
going back to my
one.
list. I'm going to switch the Niners to 1.
Are you high?
Oh,
What are you on? What is this guy on?
I don't know.
And I'm moving the Chiefs.
Off the list, and you're gonna put the Buccaneers at 10.
No, absolutely not.
What the? You gotta
You know
show
what?
some love to Evans and White. I know there wasn't in my top 10, okay, but that's not the point for the video. It's just because Baker's ADP is so terrible.
Niners are definitely 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, Terry.
look,
Jerry.
if you if you can get away with somehow being able to snag C-Mac, Debo, and Ayuk and or Kittle to switch one of them out, good for you. But that's almost impossible. Kind of like the Eagles.
Let's not forget Ricky Pearsall.
I'm going to forget about him. He's got a hurt hip and it hasn't even started yet.
Hamstring.
Whatever, dude.
If you're able to draft Purdy, Ayuk, Debo, any one of those, like all 3 of those, like first
That's
off,
nasty, dude.
okay. First off, I also think, and this is just maybe me personally thinking about stacks.
Because if there's a person that loves a stack, it's the
It
preacher.
is me.
Yes.
I love my stacks. I really do. But there is also a point in time where you have too many stacks.
Yes.
And so your roster ends up having the worst bye week because you've got
so many
a 3-stack.
Yeah,
you've
but
got
you
a
know-
4-stack,
But if your team is rocking so well, though, and you're just winning, who cares about the bye week? Take the loss. Who gives
Well,
a
if you know you're going to do, say, for example, if you're going to do a triple stack, you've got to draft accordingly.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
That is your fault.
You have to play in your draft.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I guess for those out there, if you're looking into a stack, don't be skittish of the stack.
No.
But
Go for it.
But go for it, but also do your research so you're not taking the 49ers at 1 or changing it to the Chiefs or from the Chiefs to the 49ers or
Because that's a wild.
that is a wild yeah, but like I said, I feel like if you're out there and you haven't looked into a stack, you probably should. Just hopefully you pick the right one.
You can't go wrong with San Francisco.
The dark horse. I'm saying it again. It's the Buccaneers.
Okay.
Saying it again. Rashad White, top 10. Mike Evans, top 10. You want to put Chris Godwin in your flex spot? Guess what? He's moving back to the slot full time.
And K. Dot.
I'll meet you in the middle on that one.
I guess so.
Dude, Godwin is moving back to the slot. Okay. You can have a nice triple stack there and then pick up Baker on waivers because his ADP is like a 165. I feel bad for dude. Like, I'm taking him. Let last year's injuries happen again. You'll be begging to have Baker Mayfield on your team. Begging. Sorry, man. I almost lost my cool there.
You did
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, I almost lost my cool.
All right. Any dark horses for you there, San Francisco?
Not a
Homer?
little dark horse. Don't say Drake May and Jalen Polk. That's not good.
I think we're good on stacks.
Okay.
I think so too. All right, that's us. Gridiron Goons.
Hey, just so you know, like and subscribe. we're here on YouTube, Spotify. You can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook.
Just bringing that fire.
Yeah, just gotta hit that
That's
like
supposed
button.
to be my job, but I keep forgetting, so I hired him to do that. Anyway, you guys have a good one. See ya.
Yeah, man.
Later.
Yeah, man. Welcome back to the Gridiron Goons. I'm your host, Brandon. Got Preacher. Got Sean O'Mac.
What up?
We're here talking about handcuffs today. If you don't know what handcuffs are, they're usually for the running back position. If one of them gets hurt, you have their backup on your squad, or some people like to just kind of use it as a blocking move. So if you have Tony Pollard and you want to block someone from getting Tajay Spears, boom, handcuff. Sean, you want to start us out?
Yeah. What are we doing going with this episode? Top 5?
What do you think, Preach? You want to do 5 or 10?
I think 5-ish. I mean,
So right off the rip, my number 1 is the Lions. That Montgomery and Gibbs, obviously, it's dynamite. We seen that last year.
Absolutely.
Number 2, I got Mostert behind A-Chain.
I'm not a big fan of Mostert. I'm not a big fan of A-Chain either, but that's hearsay for sure.
Number 3, I got the Cardinals with Benson.
Absolutely.
Handcuffing Connors.
Absolutely.
I like that a lot. I got number 4, I got Elijah Mitchell, handcuffing C-Mac. And 5, I got Braylon Allen, handcuffing Brees Hall.
Ooh. I don't know if I like that.
what are you thinking, Evo?
Well, my top 10 or my top 5, I should say. Definitely Chubb and Ford.
Okay.
Nick Chubb had that gruesome ass injury to the knee. The same knee he had repaired in college.
Yeah, but he's doing 700 pounds now, man.
I get
Squatting
it,
it
but
too.
that's holding weight. He's not exploding through a hole. He's not getting hit. I'm worried. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he's on the PUP list. And I think
It could be just starting out training camp, though.
Right.
So,
and Ford showed that he was more than capable last season when Chubb went down. After that, I got Saquon and Gainwell. So if you don't believe in Saquon staying healthy, but you want the points when he is healthy, there you go. Because anyone can run behind that Eagles O-line. 3, got my boy, Rachaad White with Bucky Irving. The reason that I have him in a handcuff is just on the simple fact of if you like White like I do and something does happen to him, Irving will probably be on the waiver wire. Pick him right up. I have Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet at 4 and Kyron Williams and Corum at the 5.
right. I like how you take the handcuffing for the injury aspect
Yes.
approach. Sean and I look more at the 1 and 2 on the roster. So for me, mine is Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. I think that's a nice 1-2 combo to block somebody out. My number 2 is Zach Moss, Chase Brown. We're high on Zach Moss, but
Yeah.
I know a lot of people aren't high. So you might want to have Chase Brown, and it's a just in case Zach Moss shows up and flops the bet.
And Chase Brown had a real strong showing in the pass catching game last
right,
season.
and especially in the back half of the year under the injury
Yes.
of Burrow, he had a really good performance then. So I think that's somewhere that you should look at. Number 3 is the Chargers starter and whoever's the Chargers second. I think with the way it is right now, they're going to share regardless.
Yes.
J.K. Dobbins played only 16 games in his career. There's no way he's playing 18 games 18 games a season, 17 games a season, whatever. You have Kimian Vidal or whatever.
Vidal, yeah.
He's there. You know, it's a mixed bag there. So I think that's somebody I would target to have handcuffed. Number 4 is Josh Jacobs, Marshawn Lloyd. Maybe a little bit more on the injury side if that happens. They said they're going to split shares. I don't think Josh Jacobs is going to have that much shared to Marshawn Lloyd, but at least it would block somebody from having that. And then mine is James Conner, Trey Benson.
Yeah.
I think
we're all high on that duel.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think if you're looking at Trey Benson, that is a guy who eventually is going to take that spot and more of the rollover. So if you can handcuff somebody to prevent that back half of the season, I would.
I have go ahead, preach.
I was going to say, do you have any dark horse?
I do. I've got a
2.
really good one.
Okay. I have 2.
I got the Texans with Damian Pierce. Word is coming out of camp, he's looking phenomenal.
I think he had his thunder stolen last year, to be honest.
For sure.
I have 2 dark horses that I want to talk about. Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby. I think that Etienne, obviously, we had him. All of us had him in our top 10. And Tank showed a lot of promise when he was on the field. And the other one is because I don't believe in Alvin Kamara. But if you pick up Alvin Kamara, you might as well get Kendre Miller as well. Because I believe Miller is up for a huge season if either Kamara isn't working out or if he gets hurt. I think Miller is in for a huge season.
Not if he loses touches to Jamal Williams.
That's true.
I get that, but I like that Alvin Kamara portion because Kamara in the past had gotten designed targets, and I don't think he's getting those designed targets anymore. So that's a phenomenal dark horse contention there. I like the Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears. Maybe that's because I feel bad for Tajay Spears. Like sitting there behind Derrick Henry going, I'm the guy up. Nope, Tony Pollard showed up. And so I think I'm hopefully optimistic for Tajay that he's going to be able to maybe show a little bit of flash to maybe spark that interest to use him more. Tony Pollard.
He looked so good on the Cowboys last year.
That's why he's there on the Cowboys. And, you know, maybe a handcuff. You don't want to touch this. Is Ezekiel Elliott, Rick O'Donnell?
Yeah, man, stay away from that.
You probably should just cut.
Stay away from that.
Anybody else got anything?
I think we covered the big ones.
Yeah, I think that's it for us at the Gridiron Goon Studios. Like and subscribe. Follow us on all social media platforms. We're out there on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We got little snippets on there. And updates if something happens. We post them right on there. Anyways, that's it for us. You guys have a good one.
Later.
Yeah, man!
Yeah, man!